Hi, this is Mr. Bo from MrBoEnglish.com, and it's been a while. We haven't done a video here in a couple of weeks. Came back from winter break, and things have been a little hectic. So we're going to try and get a few done over the next couple of days. But we've been working on factoring, and we're going to start completing the square, which is a giant topic, and we're gonna try and get it done in just a couple of videos here. So the basic idea of completing the square is that if we have, I'm going to use a visual representation here. If we have a setup like this, using the area model, and this area is x squared, and this is 8x. What we can do is we can cut this 8 in half, and then we can draw it out, draw out that half here, and then put the other half down on this side. So now I have x, and I have, this is a length of 4, so inside here is x squared, and this is 4x, and this is 4x, and together that's still x squared plus 4x is x squared plus 8x. It's the same thing. And there's this little part down here. If we had this, we would have a square, and we've done area models in Khan before, and if we had this down here, we could be able to make a square, and our square would look like x plus 4 squared. So how big does this thing need to be? Yeah, well, it's 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay. So really we need to have x squared plus our 8x, and then we need to find this extra 16 from somewhere. And we have to find it from somewhere. We can't make it. So one of the ways we can do that is add 16 and then subtract 16. Plus 16 minus 16, that's 0. This whole thing is plus 0, so we didn't really change anything. Another way to do it is if we have an equation, let's say that's equal to 0, then we can add 16 on both sides. And then we get, then we get x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 16, and then this part here becomes x plus 4 squared, and we know x plus 4 squared equals 16, and then that's not difficult to solve. We'll learn to do that in a video later. So basically in this first one, we're going to try and figure out the first completing the square intro here. We're going to try and figure out what this missing constant is to complete the square, because we're completing the square, we're finishing the square. We started the square, it's not finished. How are we going to complete the square? So let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so our first question is, what is the missing constant in the perfect square that starts with x squared plus 10x? So we have x squared plus 10x. Okay, so using this area model, I'm going to use that to kind of help us figure out what we're doing. We want to cut this in half, and we're going to move that half over there. So here we've got x times x squared, and over here, how much do we have left? 5x, and then down here, not to scale, Over here we have 5x. How much do we need to complete the the square here? This is x plus 5, and this is x plus 5. How much do we need? It's 5, 5. We need 25. So over here, I'm just going to type in 25. And you'll see we cut 10 in half, divide 10 in half. 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 5 squared is 25. And we're going to do that every time. I'm going to keep doing these area models for you because I think that they help you understand what's going on. We can show you how to do the the mechanics, like show you the math and not show you exactly what's happening. But this is a minus, so negative 12, so I've got x squared, and over here I've got, so x minus 12 times x is equal to x squared minus 12x. And what am I going to do? I'm going to cut this in half. So what's negative 12 divided by 2 is equal to negative 6. So I'm going to start off my square here, and it's going to be negative 6 in length. And of course I can't draw negative 6 in length, but we're just using the area model to help everybody understand here. Oops. So negative 6x, negative 6x, and negative 6x plus negative 6x is negative 12x. So these two are the same. We want to make sure we get our extra here. So what is the missing constant term? The missing constant term is here, and that's negative 6 times negative 6, or negative 6 squared, or negative 12 divided by 2 squared. Okay, negative 12 divided by 2 squared. And that is 36. So our answer over here is 36. Your numbers will probably be different than mine, but you can do your own problems, follow the same method. Okay. We got two more of these, I think. What is the missing constant in the perfect square that starts with x squared plus 6x? Should be bored of this by now. All right, so I got x and x, that's x squared, and then I've got x squared plus 6x, so this has to be 6. So our length over here is x plus 6. And I'm going to cut that in half. And what's 6 divided by 2? 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that means I need, make them a little bit shorter here, x plus 3. X plus 3, so we're gonna make this look like x plus 3 squared. Okay, and this is x squared, 3x, and how big does this part need to be? All right, what do we need in here? Well, that's 3 times 3, or 3 squared, which is, it's 3 squared, which is 6 divided by 2 squared, 6 divided by 2 squared, x squared plus 6x, 6 divided by 2 squared, and that's 9. So our missing constant term over here is 9. One more. I'm not going to make a new one, I'm just going to do it on the bottom here. What is the missing constant term in the perfect square that starts with x squared minus 20x? And again, I'm going to kind of cheat here. You can't really use a an area model with a negative number, but that's okay. Numbers work out anyway. So x minus 20 times x is x squared minus 20x. And we're going to cut that in half. So negative 20 divided by 2 is equal to negative 10. So now I'm going to have my x squared, and I'm going to have negative 10x over here, and I'm going to have negative 10x over here. So I have the same amount. I have 20, still have 20x, but negative 10 is here, and negative 10 is here. X minus 10 x minus 10. And how big is this one? Negative 10 times negative 10, negative 10 squared. Or negative 20 over 2 squared. And we can see what the negative 20 divided by 2 squared, and that's 100. I like this exercise a lot because it's an easy little intro to completing the square. Completing the square is really kind of difficult for a lot of students, but Khan does a really good job of making this not too difficult for our students. So remember to use this area model if you get confused. If you have any more questions, contact us at mrbowenglish.com. Mr. Bo English รับสอนนักเรียนตั้งแต่ป .3 ขึ้นไปทางอินเทอร์เน็ตในสไตล์ EP ครับผู้สนใจช่วยติดต่อครูแจงหรือไปเว็บไซต์ที่ www.mrboenglish.com